The book kicks off with a bang, throwing us right into the deep end of life's messy, chaotic pool. Negotiation. And no, it's not just some slick business tactic reserved for suits in boardrooms. It's the heartbeat of our everyday existence. The author, who I'll just call Herb for now since he's sharing personal tales like we're old pals, lays it out plain and simple. Your world is one giant negotiating table, and you're already playing the game whether you signed up for it or not. Let's unpack this chapter together, chat about what's going on, and figure out what it's trying to tell us. The big picture, life's a negotiation. Herb starts by painting a picture we can all recognize. You're clashing with people all the time. Your grumpy landlord, that car dealer with the shady grin, or even your own kids who'd rather starve than sit through dinner. He says negotiation is about gaining the favor of people from whom we want things. Prestige, love, money, a quiet night out without a meltdown. It's not rocket science, but it's also not just about talent or hard work winning the day. Nope, life's taught us that the real winners are the ones who can negotiate their way to the top, using info and power like chess pieces in a tense game. I love how he frames it. Negotiation is about information and power affecting behavior within a web of tension. That's poetic, right? It's like we're all spiders spinning webs, tugging at threads to get what we need. And here's the kicker. He says we're doing this all the time, at work and at home. Think about it. Convincing your spouse to pick the movie, haggling with a traffic cop, or dodging a rent hike. It's negotiation city out there, and Herb's inviting us to wake up and get good at it. The family circus, a negotiation nightmare. Now, let's get to the star of this chapter, Herb's 9-year-old son, the skinny rebel who'd rather hide under the table than eat a burger. This story had me chuckling and cringing at the same time. Herb comes home after a rough week, dreaming of a cozy family dinner, only to find his wife in a funk and his kids staging a full-on food boycott. The scene at the restaurant is pure chaos. Imagine this tiny human crawling under the table, grabbing legs, and then yelling, "This is a crummy restaurant," loud enough to turn heads. I could feel Herb's mix of embarrassment and exhaustion through the page. But here's where it gets clever. Herb uses this disaster to show us negotiation in action. The kid's not just being a brat, he's wielding information. He knows his parents hate a scene, and power, his ability to disrupt, to bend the situation his way. And it works. After that night, they never drag him to a restaurant again. That little dude won the negotiation, and Herb's left shaking his head, proving even a 9-year-old can outmaneuver us if they play their cards right. This hit me personally. I've got a niece who pulls similar stunts. She's 5 and already a master at knowing when to cry or charm to get an extra cookie. It's wild how natural this stuff is, even for kids. Herb's point? We're all negotiators, whether we're aware of it or not. Work, bosses, and malicious obedience. Switching gears, Herb takes us to the workplace, where negotiation's just as sneaky. He talks about selling ideas to your boss, not just dumping data, but packaging it to fit their needs and the company's vibe. Ever had a brilliant plan shot down because you didn't pitch it right? Yeah, me too. That's where this skill comes in clutch. Then there's this gem, malicious obedience. Oh man, I laughed out loud at that one. It's when you do exactly what your boss says, knowing it'll flop, just to prove a point. Picture this. Your manager says, "Send that email now." So you do. No edits, no context, and it bombs. 2 weeks later, they're like, "What happened?" And you shrug, "I did what you told me." It's petty, it's genius, and it's a negotiation tactic, showing them they need your brain, not just your hands. Herb's warning bosses here, don't micromanage or you'll get burned. The 3 big players, information, time, power. Toward the end, Herb drops the mic with 3 elements he says are in every negotiation ever: information, time, and power. The other side always seems to know more about you. They're never as rushed as you are, and they've got the upper hand, or so it feels. Power's the wild card here. He says it's all perception. If you think you've got it, you do. If you don't, you're toast, even if you're secretly loaded with leverage. It's a mind game, and I'm already rethinking every awkward haggle I've ever lost. Jesus OG negotiators. Just when I thought I had negotiation figured out, Herb throws in a curveball. Jesus Christ and Socrates as master negotiators. At first I was like, huh? But hear him out. Neither had fancy titles or armies, yet they used questions, stories, and sheer guts to shift the world's values. They gathered info, picked their battles, and even turned their deaths into power moves that inspired millions. It's a bold take, but it makes you wonder, what's my negotiation legacy gonna be? My takeaways, what's this all mean? So what's chapter 1 telling us? Life's a non-stop negotiation, and the sooner we accept that, the better we'll play. It's not about being a jerk or scamming people. It's about reading the room, knowing what you've got to offer, and nudging things your way. Herb's got me hooked with his mix of funny family flops and sharp insights. I'm feeling a little called out, too. How many times have I fumbled a negotiation because I didn't see the power I had, or rushed in without enough info? The emotions here are real. Frustration with the kid, desperation at work, that spark of hope when you realize you can get better at this. The conflict's everywhere. You versus the world, you versus yourself. And character-wise, Herb's already showing us he's a guy who's been bruised by life, but still swings back with humor and smarts. I'm rooting for him and for us to level up our negotiation game. What do you think, gang? Ever had a moment where you negotiated without even realizing it? Or a time you wish you'd handled differently? Let's keep this convo rolling. Chapter 1's just the warm-up. That's a wrap on Chapter 1 of You Can Negotiate Anything. Hope you found it insightful. If you did, like, comment, and subscribe for more. Share your favorite negotiation tip in the comments. See you in the next episode.